What's up, Titans Nation? Welcome back to another edition of the Titans Traffic Update. I'm your host, Gannon Cornley, and today we will be discussing the NFL dropping the 2026 NFL schedule, and we will look to see how that positively and negatively impacts our Tennessee Titans. We're also going to look at what a realistic win or loss record looks like for our Titans. And finally, I will break my silence on the Mike Vrabel situation. Yeah, I'll get into that. But before we do, please do not forget to like and subscribe here on YouTube. It's free. It's a way to contribute and grow the Tennessee Titans fandom space. Again, I want to get as many fans as I possibly can. Again, ultimately, I want to structure this show based on what you guys want to talk about amongst yourselves. So again, send me things that you guys would like me to talk about, and we can have a discussion in the comments on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever you guys would like to. Speaking of my socials, please go ahead and follow me at Titans Traffic on X/Twitter. Follow me at Titans Traffic Update on Instagram and TikTok. And of course, again, like and subscribe right here on my YouTube channel at Titans Traffic Update. Without further ado, let's get into it because the Tennessee Titans finally have their schedule. There's always so many mock schedules, and you never know what's true, what's really out there, before it gets to the actual day. And small rant before I actually get to the Titans scheduling. I think that the build-up for the schedule is really, really dumb, just in my opinion. For them to hype it up, there's a whole show on the NFL Network / ESPN and the massive, schedule so you can figure out exactly when your teams are playing and who they're playing at what time and all this and that. Just for the teams on their social media pages to release their full schedules 30 minutes before the actual big reveal on the show, I think it's so dumb to me. I'd rather them just post it all at once so we know exactly what time, like they used to in the olden days. Again, they still could release stuff on their social media pages. I just don't know why it has to be this gigantic big reveal. I just don't think it really has the pull that the NFL really thinks it does. It really is just mainly for those who are on social media platforms, and really if you're only following your favorite team. So that's just my little quick rant about that. I think it's overall kind of dumb how they go about it, but I do like the NFL and how the teams go about, making it funny, how they do their schedule releases. I'm from Kansas City, so I saw the Chiefs one, which is really funny. The kind of like the old infomercials with Rob Riggle. I thought that was funny. I really like the Titans one as well. They're going to continue this. It looks like they're going to keep going with the guy on the street asking random people, do they know a team? This time they did a player. You really look like this person. So I thought it was overall really funny how the Titans went about releasing their schedule. Guys looking like Joe Burrow and Will Compton and different guys like that. Jerry Jones, the Jerry Jones guy was hilarious because he looked like he didn't have any idea what was going on. Again, it's a way to just make you laugh, be goofy. So I do like that part of it if the NFL wants to continue that. But just the whole big, giant build up to get ready for Thursday when we already released some games. We know who all the international games are before Thursday. We know a few of the primetime games, like we knew the Chiefs, for example. We're going to play the Denver Broncos a few days in advance. I just don't understand what's the whole big reveal if you're going to randomly drop small little nuggets here and there for people. I don't really understand the pull of that, but I do wish and would like them to continue the schedule releases because I do find them funny. I think the Titans and really the Los Angeles Chargers have, over the last few years, tend to be some of the most entertaining ones. So I like that at least my team is winning at something because we will get directly into the schedule right now, and you're gonna see as I pull it up here on the screen. Where the Titans did not win is in the prime time department. So as you guys can see, the Tennessee Titans, and again I'll have another schedule with all their times, but the Tennessee Titans did not get a single primetime game. In fact, every single game is at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so noon my time, with the exception of two games. The game they play at Jacksonville in Week 12, that'll be a 4:05 Eastern time start, and when they play at the Las Vegas Raiders in Week 16, that again will be a 4:05 p.m. start. Every other game on their entire schedule, with the exception of Week 18, because as we all know, That is a to be determined. You never know if that game's a Saturday game or a Sunday game. Every game's at 1 p.m. And again, I actually like 1 p.m. games, so that may be a hot take. I like them because, again, it's, I go to church. I'm a religious guy, so I go to church first things first on Sunday, and then I go home and watch my football. And so it's nice that the Titans are just right there. As soon as I get out of church, they can play. The game's over by 3:30, 4 at the latest, and I can go on about my day. Sometimes in my current schedule, I work on some Sundays, so that is perfect for me. I can actually go in, do what I got to do first, watch my game, and then I can go on about the rest of my day. Of course, when I'm off, I watch other football games. But it's nice just to get the Titans out the way, and especially now, we haven't had it in a while, especially when the Titans win, that just makes the rest of the NFL day feel so much better. So much better when the Titans win, because then you can rest. You can just sit there and rest knowing the Titans have won a game, and we can move on with the rest of our lives. We couldn't wait. It was the second half of the season before we got that with the Titans, because they beat the Cardinals, if you guys remember, last year for their first win. But they played the Cardinals in the second half window. So we watched all the first half games, all the noon games. Then the Titans played the Cardinals in that ridiculous game where they came back and won for their first game of the season, their first win of the season. Then they didn't win again until they played the Cleveland Browns later on in the year. And that was after the bye week and everything. Brian Callahan already been fired and all that. So we didn't even get a chance to have that 1 p.m. noon, wherever you live, feeling until later on in the season. Then, of course, they beat the Chiefs at the very end of the season after Mahomes had already gotten hurt. So if the Titans are going to be better, which I certainly will predict them to do, and you'll see that coming up, I like this from that perspective. But I absolutely hate that the Tennessee Titans did not get a primetime game for the second year in a row. We have the former first overall pick quarterback in Cam Ward. Say what you want to. Obviously, Cam Ward did not have the greatest rookie season out there of all time, but he's certainly showed flashes. He has the charisma. He's got the swagger. He's starring on the Netflix show, The Quarterback Season 3. So clearly NFL spaces view him as a marketable piece, someone who's entertaining, someone who's all about ball, a guy you can trust to be in the limelight. I do not understand how the Titans, for the second year in a row, do not get at least one primetime game, even if it's a Thursday night game. Give them a standalone game. This is already the most forgotten team in the NFL, unless you're a Tennessee Titans fan. The very least you can do is give them a prime time game. It is so funny that the NFL later on, again, it was early on Thursday. I'm recording this super late in the day, but this is going to go out Friday morning. Right before the schedules went out, the NFL posted a reel about second-year quarterbacks, and the very first highlight was about Cam Ward. The post was about second-year quarterbacks taking the next jump. The very first quarterback that they picked was Cam Ward, and they showed his highlight again, his touchdown pass, his very first touchdown pass against the Rams, where he throws it across his body. I find it very funny that the NFL is going to market that, and then less than 4 or 5 hours later, give them not a single primetime game to hype up Cam Ward. Again, I understand that the Titans are very bad, and they're not the only team that did not get a primetime game. There's 5 teams actually who did not get a primetime game, but the Titans are one of them. And I have not fact checked this, but I'd be willing to go out on a limb and say that they are the only team that did not have a primetime game last year and this year. So for the back-to-back years, they're not going to have any type of Cam Ward in the limelight. And the reason why I care about this so much is because, like most of my fellow Titans fans, now I'm big on the NFL, so like I'm all about football. Like for me, it is football first, then it's the Tennessee Titans. That's just ultimately how I work, how I am. Like I've played football high school, college. I'm all about the sport, but the Titans are my favorite team, and that's what drove me to do this. But I'm all about football, so I can watch any team at any time, anywhere. That is what I am about. I can sit down and watch football all day long, and the Titans don't even have to be present. They don't have to even be mentioned. But I cannot tell you guys, especially not living in Nashville, living in another city with another team, so many people, casually were like, man, what's going on with the Titans? What's going on with the Titans? You know, they don't watch the Tennessee Titans, right? They're there, especially where I live. People are here to watch the Chiefs, watch their favorite team, and they get on somewhere, right? They go about that. They casually watch like the primetime games, but they don't watch their team Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night. The noon windows, if they have Sunday Ticket or NFL Red Zone or whatever, here and there, but they don't really know what's going on when it's not their team. It wasn't until the Titans played the Chiefs last year where I had friends and family come to me like, man, Cam Ward actually looks really good. Like his stats don't look good, but Cam Ward looked great. I think the Titans, when they played the Chiefs, I think that was his best game in my personal opinion. That game, or how he finished the game against the Seahawks. I really like how they played against the Saints too, for the most part. But I think the Chiefs was his best complete game of his NFL career so far. And I had multiple, friends of mine who really hadn't chimed in much. All they said was, "Man, the Titans are bad. What's going on there? They fired the coach, and they should have kept Mike Vrabel." All the casuals who say stuff like that. It wasn't until they actually watched, because the Titans were on the local broadcast here in Kansas City. So they had to go to NFL Red Zone or Sunday Ticket or Monday Night Football. They could just watch it. And they were like, dude, Cam Ward actually looks really good. Like, they just need to get him some help. There were some drops out there. The O-line's bad, blah, blah, blah. Like, my friends were coming up to me telling me this. And it showed me, like, they didn't play the Chiefs till, like, week 15 or something like that. Which shows me that fans do not tune in unless it's convenient. They're not going to tune into a team that's not theirs unless it's convenient. Yeah. For people who watch the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Lions, the Niners, they're on all the time in standalone situations, so we know more about them. We know about Brock Purdy, we know about Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and all this and that, because the Eagles are always on. The Cowboys are always mentioned in all these different spaces. And so people know, even though it's not their team, they know a little bit more about them. But for the Titans specifically, they're not going to be on primetime for the second time in a row. So most people have absolutely no idea what's been going on. All they know is that the Titans just keep firing people, and they've had a bad record really going on for 4 years in a row. 2 of them with Mike Vrabel, the last 2 with Brian Callahan as the head coach. And so I really think this is a miss by the NFL, because if you're trying to market your young quarterbacks, they got so much to talk about. Even Shedeur, a guy who went 5th round and all this and that. They talk about, they try to put Shedeur in space. They ask him interview questions just so they can get content. So why would you not put the former #1 overall pick from last year in at least one primetime space? Because again, those teams, when you do that, you get extra coverage. They talk about the storylines. Even on terrible Thursday night games, we all know Thursday night games, they've been really working on trying to get the best of the best teams to play on Thursday night, because we had even when the Titans were better, people used to eye roll, man, the Titans and Jags always on Thursday night football. But at least, we had Derrick Henry, and the Titans were a lot better than the Jags back then. But there were extra storylines behind it. Like, you would actually know what's going on. Oh man, this Titans team, Mike Vrabel's like, that's how Mike Vrabel became known as a really good coach, because not only were the Titans winning, but they were a hard grit team. They had a bunch of injuries, but we would fight through and win. Tannehill's actually better than most people thought. Obviously, they're led by Derrick Henry, Jeffrey Simmons. There's a lot going on that a lot of people, I think, didn't know behind the scenes, and it's just really frustrating that we actually have a real marketable piece that's not named Derrick Henry. We have in my opinion, we have a star young quarterback. Again, he's got a lot more room to grow. But we have a quarterback who went #1 overall, looks the part for the most part. Of course, there's some things where Cam Ward can grow, but he's an NFL guy. Like this is not a Josh Rosen situation, right? He's not coming in and you and me like, I don't even think that guy can ball. Cam Ward has the traits. He's got to put it together. So, and I think we'll see that in year 2. But I'm really disappointed in the NFL for that, for them not getting the Titans a primetime game, just because I really don't understand why you wouldn't want to market that, even for a random Thursday night game against the Texans or the Colts or the Jaguars. Make it a division game. At least hype it up a little bit more, and you can hide it in the middle of the year. Put it week 7, week 8. When people are, still, like, everyone's season's still intact. People are still engaged. I truly don't understand that. And again, like I said, the Titans are the only team that didn't get a primetime game. But when some teams have 6 and 7 primetime games, like my hometown team here, I get the Chiefs are better than the Titans. I understand that. It's just annoying. And honestly, hearing from my fellow friends and family who are Chiefs fans, they are also annoyed for the opposite reason. They hate that the Chiefs are always on primetime. They're always in a late game, especially when it's a home game, because it's impossible to get home. The traffic is terrible. I've been to late night Chiefs games. It is awful. And when they have them, when you have, I think the Chiefs have 6 or maybe 7 primetime games. Half of them are at home. You only get 8. You only get 7 or 8 home games. If 4 of them are at nighttime, that's super annoying. So it's already the fan base that's getting the most primetime games doesn't like it. And then you have some fan bases who aren't getting any at all. And the last point I'll make about the primetime, and I'll really get into the heat of the schedule. The last point I want to make is the Titans are again, they don't have a historically great stadium. But this is the last year in their stadium. And so if I wish I could go back and count how many times I had to hear about the Buffalo Bills playing the last year in their stadium. This is the last Sunday night football game that'll ever be played in this stadium. This is the last Monday night football game that's ever be played in their stadium. When they didn't win their division against the Patriots. Quite literally the very last thing. This is the last game they'll ever play. Last year, this was the last home game, playoff home game they'll ever have in this stadium. I mean, we heard it over and over and over about this is the last game in their stadium. And then they don't even give the Titans one last primetime game in their home stadium. And the opponent that they're playing for their last home game, as you guys can see, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't even understand that at all. I really don't. And so I'm really disappointed in the NFL from that perspective. Again, yes, I'm biased, of course. All right, I'm going to cater to my own team. But it's hard to believe that they couldn't have done better with this schedule, knowing that this is the last time the Titans are playing in this stadium, knowing that we have a former first overall pick quarterback who is marketable. You guys are literally making a Netflix special about this guy. He's all up and down your NFL Twitter pages, your Instagram reels, your YouTube reels, YouTube shorts. Cam Ward's all over the place. So you guys from your own mouths are viewing him as marketable. It would be one thing if you didn't think he was marketable. So I don't understand why this team's getting new jerseys. They have a new head coach, all different types of storylines. I really don't understand it. And so I'm disappointed by the NFL from that degree. But overall, get into actually the nuts and bolts of the actual schedule. I think that this is pretty favorable. Now, going into last year, I thought the same thing. I thought the Titans had a more than favorable schedule just from an opponent standpoint. Now, we knew playing at Denver, the Rams, the Colts, and the Texans, those first 4 games last year, we knew it was going to be brutal. I thought the Titans could have maybe squeezed out 2 wins. Obviously, I was wrong. But the Cardinals and Raiders were in there somewhere as well. But again, that was kind of how we started this season. Of course, definitely with the Broncos and Rams. So I always think we were going to have a tough first 2 games. But I thought the schedule would kind of ease up. Again, going into last year, the Jags weren't all that great. The Patriots weren't great. The Cardinals weren't great. The Raiders weren't great, going back to the 2024 season. So I thought we had a little bit more of a favorable schedule. And it turns out the Titans played the actual hardest schedule in the entire NFL. The first, again, I don't know this to be true, but it almost has to be. The team with the first overall pick ends up with the hardest schedule in the NFL. How? How is that actually possible? That is just terrible, terrible luck for the Tennessee Titans. Again, it's nothing you can really blame the NFL on. It's not our fault that the Broncos' first opponent goes to the AFC Championship game. Our second opponent, the Rams, go to the NFC Championship game. We played the Seahawks and the Patriots, who ended up in the Super Bowl. We played the Jaguars, ended up winning 13 games last year. We just played teams that you just never would have thought were going to end up being that good. And so we end up playing the hardest schedule in the entire NFL. Meanwhile, the Patriots, who also played a 4th place schedule, ends up playing the easiest. It's just, it's how the cookie crumbles. But We end up playing the hardest schedule in the NFL. So looking at this schedule here, I do think it's a lot more favorable for the Tennessee Titans. And so just overall, not even going, necessarily game by game, because I'll do that in my next segment. But again, getting the Jets, again, if the Jets are good, the Titans are just cursed. The Titans are just cursed at that point. Because there's just no way in the world I believe that Geno Smith's going to go in there and turn them around. And especially week one with how new they are as well. I would be very disappointed just if somehow we lost to the Jets. The Giants are in a new regime. Daniel Jones is injured, so the Colts again are kind of figuring their stuff out. He may be ready by week 6. That's when we play the Colts, but the Browns are in a new regime. The Bengals are about 1 year away from blowing their stuff up. We're still only in year 2 with the Dallas Cowboys, even though I think the Cowboys are a better team. You got the Raiders are obviously starting over. The Steelers, we don't know what's going on with their quarterback situation, and they have a new head coach. The first time they've been without Mike Tomlin in quite some time. So again, there's a lot of newness on this schedule for the Titans that I think is very favorable. And I do like that they're getting a lot of newness earlier in the year. They're playing the Jets, who have just a second-year head coach and new quarterback. They're playing the Giants, who have a new quarterback. They're playing, I forgot that Baltimore has a new coach as well, even though, Baltimore is a lot better than the Titans as it stands right now. They have a new head coach, so we don't know. We don't know what life's like without Harbaugh yet for the Baltimore Ravens. So you get second-year coach, new quarterback week 1, new coach, second-year quarterback week 2 or week 3, first-time head coach in week 4. Then you have 2 divisional games back-to-back. Then you get, if Shador's playing, second-year quarterback and first-time head coach, first-year head coach in Cleveland. Then you have the Bengals, who has been established in a bye. Division game, second-year head coach in Dallas, bye. Third-year quarterback now with the Commanders. Then the Lions, divisional game, rookie quarterback, new coach in Pittsburgh. So there is a lot of newness. There's not a lot of established teams. And when you really look at it too, based on if you're just going solely off of who made the postseason last year, and again, the NFL changes all the time, but Jets did not make the playoffs. Eagles were one and done. Giants did not make the playoffs. Ravens did not make the playoffs. The Texans did win a game. Colts missed the playoffs. Browns missed the playoffs. Bengals missed the playoffs. Jags did go to the playoffs. Dallas missed the playoffs. Jags made it. Commanders did not. Lions did not. Colts did not. Raiders did not. The Steelers did make the playoffs, but it was ugly. And then the Texans again. So you got a lot of teams that did not make the playoffs, and the furthest anybody went on our entire schedule was the Houston Texans, who beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in a very ugly game. I think C.J. Stroud had 1 million turnovers. So they're not playing anyone who went super deep into the playoffs last year, outside of the Texans, if you want to count their divisional run. So I think that there's quite a few newness, either new quarterback or new coach. So I do like this. I do like this for the Titans. I think that they certainly have a path. They have a path to go both ways. Last year, I did not, especially with a rookie, I did not think the Titans were making the playoffs. But I thought they were going to be a lot better than they were. I just didn't really see a path for the Titans to make the playoffs. I do think there is a path for the Titans to potentially make a playoff run here. And I also think that there's a path where the Titans could get smoked. There is a path. If things do not go aligned, they can get smoked, and that's how I'm going to transition to my next segment here, the win-loss record. And so, as you guys can see, I have the Titans off first initial look, and I have the right to change my mind. I have the right to change my mind. I have the Titans going 7-9. Just first look, I think the Titans can go 7-9. And I know that's probably disappointing to some people. Or 7-10. Sorry, I'm so used to the 16-game schedule. 7-10, excuse me. And the reason why I believe this is because on paper, the Titans look great, but they're not great. But on paper, the Titans look so much more improved, let me say, than last year. And again, shout out to my guy, Joshua Giddens Johnson, who left a comment I believe it was 2 videos ago, asked me, like, what do I think the Titans need to change in order to not go 3-14? Well, this is it. They've got to get out to a hot start. The Titans continue to start 0-1, I think, for the last, 3 or 4 years. And I saw a stat. The Titans have not won a season opening home game since 2010. That is abysmal, man. That is abysmal. We haven't won a season opening home game since 2010. Guys, that's so bad. We have got to change that. So, and I think we do. I have them beating the Jets in week 1. Robert Saleh gets to face his former team. Tons of emotions. I think the whole offseason is going to be rah-rah. Let's help Saleh get his lick back. They fired him. They never really gave him a chance, in my opinion. Again, I don't know if Robert Saleh is going to work out for the Titans or not. But regardless of what I think about that situation, I 1,000% believe that he got a raw deal in New York. I don't think he ever wanted Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. I think the owner kind of pulled some strings and made that happen. Forced Robert Saleh to have Nathaniel Hackett as his offensive coordinator, and then Rodgers get hurt in his debut within 5 seconds, and then they have to go to Zach Wilson, and we all know how bad he is. And then the next year, Rodgers still wasn't great for the Jets, and this is someone who, I think Aaron Rodgers is a top 5 quarterback all time, but he was terrible for the Jets for the most part, and that's who Robert Saleh had to choose from. And then when he didn't have Rodgers, he had Zach Wilson. And I don't know who's winning with that. And they were still winning games. They were winning more games than the Titans. They were winning 6, I think they won 6 or 7 games the year before they fired him. So I think Robert Saleh got a raw deal. So I think that the Titans starting off 1-0 is going to be huge. And as you can see, I think that actually kind of catapults them to have a good start to the season. I just think the middle of the season's brutal. So for those of you who are listening, not watching, the Titans play the Jets in week 1. I think that's a W. Then they play and before I get into this is revenge season for the Titans. I don't know who made this schedule, who officially made this schedule, but this is revenge season for the Titans. My goodness. First of all, they play the Jets week 1, Robert Saleh's former team. Week 2, who I have them losing to, they play the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. At home. We are at home. I don't know if he's going to still be on this team or not, but this is the potential A.J. Brown returning. First time he'll be playing in Nashville since we traded him. There's a big time rumors that he'll be traded by June 1st to the New England Patriots. We'll see. We don't even know what's going on with the Patriots head coach, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But A.J. Brown potentially coming home, revenge tour. Then we play at the New York Giants for our first road game of the year. Our offensive coordinator, Brian Daboll, he was the head coach there last year. The Cam Ward versus Jackson Dart, all the Twitter beef going on between the Giants and Titans fans. Again, if you're not a Titans fan or Giants fan, you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. But we all know the beef that's been going on between the Titans and Giants. That's going to be hilarious. So there's beef there. Then, of course, Brian Daboll is going to want to beat his former team in their house. Then week 4, and I may shed a tear this day, we play the Baltimore Ravens and Derrick Henry. Now, it's not at home. We play in Baltimore. But Derrick Henry has played against every team in the NFL except for the Tennessee Titans. And we're going to play in his house, and that's going to be very sad. So we have to play former Titan, A.J. Brown, former Titan, Derrick Henry. Then it's rival game, and I have the Titans losing. I have them beating the Giants in New York, and I have them losing to the Ravens in Baltimore. Week 5, the Titans play the Texans at home. I am giving them the dub. The Texans, while we did get swept by them last year, the Texans always leave the door open for the Titans. Even in the games that we lost to them, mainly that first one where we got blanked, it was 16-0. That game was so ugly. It was 10-0 going into halfway through the fourth quarter. Our offense just could not get going. But as bad as we were, the Texans almost wanted us to win that game. And so I think with an improved roster, if you guys remember 2 years ago with the Will Levis game, where we wore the Oilers jerseys in Houston and came back out with a win, the Texans just leave the door open for the Titans to take it. And a Brian Callahan coach team was just not good enough to do that. But I think a Robert Saleh team, mixed in with Brian Daboll on offense is going to be good enough to at least get one win against the Texans this season. So I got the Titans winning that game. But again, rival game, revenge tour, because we got swept by the Texans. Next game, we play at the Indianapolis Colts. I have us losing that game. Again, the Colts just have our number right now. And I think Daniel Jones potentially could be back. If he's going to miss any time, he should be back by week 6. And so I anticipate he'll be back for that game. We're on the road. We just won 3 out of the last 5 games. I think it's almost a little bit too good to be true for the Titans, so I'm going to knock them back down to earth just a little bit with a loss there. But again, keeping the revenge tour going. That's another divisional game. Then, week 7, we come back home to play the Cleveland Browns. I don't care who's their quarterback. The Titans are winning that game. We won in Cleveland last year. No reason why we can't beat them again. Shedeur Sanders hopefully is starting again. Sanders versus Ward part 2. Not really a revenge game, but, Shedeur did play better than Cam Ward when they played each other last year. And I think Cam Ward personally will have a revenge tour game for himself. And so that's why I think that continues the theme there. And then week 8, we play at Cincinnati. If Joe Burrow's there, I don't anticipate we win that game. I'm sorry, I just don't think that we have the offense to go blow to blow with a full Cincinnati Bengals team. Again, at this point, Joe Burrow may be hurt, but he could still be there by week 8. So I don't think the Titans can win that game. Then we have a week 9 bye, and if there's any break that we got from this NFL schedule, it's this. A week 9 bye is prime. That is prime. It's in case anyone who's hurt, that's just a little bit of extra week right in the middle of the season. I cannot stand my biggest pet peeve is having the early bye. I'd rather have the latest bye possible or right in the middle, but I hate the week 5 bye. Playing 4 games and then not getting a break until the season is over, I think is absolutely asinine by the NFL. And so having a week 9 bye is absolutely beautiful. Also, in case the Titans are really good or really bad, that's prime time too for the trade deadline. I believe it is week 9. I think it's like Tuesday of week 9 is the trade deadline. So if the Titans need to off some, Calvin Ridley is a prime person to, send to get some type of draft pick, Tony Pollard, something like that. Or if the Titans are good, that's a good time. Again, we have all of our draft picks for next year, so that's a good time to maybe send a 4th or 5th round pick or 3rd round pick if it's a good enough player to make that extra push. Especially if I have the Titans, as guys see here, I have the Titans at 4-4 going in the bye week. So we're in a neutral position. The playoffs are still very much on the table at 4-4 going into week 9. So I like this. So they may want to bring in an extra corner or extra safety, or maybe we had an injury at left tackle or at tackle, or I don't want to manifest anything, but injuries happen, and so this is a perfect way to use this to your advantage. To either offload some guys to start preparing for next year, as far as draft pick wise, or if the Titans are good enough, like in this scenario, 4-4 is pretty good for us. We can start to maybe trade, someone's on the trade block, go get somebody, maybe make that extra push. Now, this is where I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me. This next stretch of games, I'm sorry, this sucks because I end up putting the Titans on a 6-game losing streak. Yeah, a 6-game losing streak. But I'm just trying to be realistic here, guys. We come out of the bye. We do get the Jags at home. I do like that this game is at home. And I love the Saleh and Liam Cohen beef. But I just don't, if the Jags are healthy, I don't think we're ready to compete with them yet. Not yet. I think that's a next year thing. I think we're still one more offseason, one more draft class away. Now if Carnell Tate or Keldrick Folk or whoever starts to, Anthony Hill Jr. pops off and starts having like an amazing rookie year, maybe. I just don't think that we have the horses. And it usually takes rookies a little bit to kind of get going. And again, even by week 10, I don't know if the Titans are ready to compete with that yet. If these guys are healthy, and keep in mind, the Jags went 13-4 with Travis Hunter getting injured, with Brian Thomas Jr. being bad. Like, he had a bad year. if he gets back to normal, the Brian Thomas Jr. of his rookie season, if Travis Hunter is what we believe he can be, either as a corner or a receiver, the Jags are going to be good again, man. And I hate to say it, I don't like the Jags, cannot stand them, but they're going to be pretty decent. Even if they're not as good as their 13-4 record last year, I have a hard time seeing them miss the playoffs. Now, they did win the division, so they're going to get a first-place schedule. What do you got to think? Think of their first-place schedule this year. It's not the Chiefs. Now, I don't know exactly who's on. Yeah, well, they have the same. They play the NFC East just like we do, and we play the AFC North. So they don't have the Chiefs on their schedule because the Chiefs didn't win their division. They don't have the Bengals on their schedule because the Bengals are because they're in the AFC North. They don't have the who's the other one? They don't have the Patriots. Or they don't have the Bills, sorry. The Patriots won their division. So they play the Patriots and Broncos. They don't have the Chiefs. They don't have the Bills. The traditional teams that are typically pretty good. Now they have the Ravens and Bengals because we play the AFC North. But the Jags are getting a less harder schedule than you would think in previous years, if that makes sense. So I don't think that the Jags, I don't think they're going to be bad, man. And so I have them losing, have the Titans losing to the Jags in week 10. I have them losing at Dallas in week 11 to the Cowboys. Again, the Cowboys, I'm a big time Cowboys hater. They're actually my least favorite team. I just cannot stand Cowboys fans. And so people who know me know that I cannot stand the Cowboys. But if CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are healthy, I don't see how the Titans are stopping that. I'm sorry. Again, I just don't think we have the offensive firepower just yet to compete with that. And I think our defense is going to be good, but again, we're not shutting guys out. And I just don't think we have the offensive firepower, even with Wan'Dale Robinson, Ridley, and Carnell Tate. Again, I have us losing. Again, we put the Jags twice in 3 weeks at the Jaguars. Definitely, I just do not see how we win this game in week 12 against the Jags. It's the first time all season that we don't play at noon. We're on the road in Florida, so there's a time difference at that. We're on the East Coast, so it's actually a 4 p.m. start instead of a 3 o'clock game. I just don't see how we can win in Jacksonville. Then we come back home on December 6th in week 13. We play the Washington Commanders. Again, I have us losing that game, and I think that's a big one. Most fans are gonna be like, "What? How do you not think we can beat the Commanders? They were bad last year." Yeah, but here's the thing, guys. Like, Jaden Daniels had the best rookie season of all time. And he had that for a reason. So if he is even remotely healthy, the Commanders, I don't know if they're gonna be world beaters, but they certainly are a step above where the Titans are right now. And I don't think we're. Again, that's like our next step. That's like the next tier, I think, for the Tennessee Titans. I think we're going to be much improved. Like, I think we're going to double our wins, if not more than double our wins from last year, going from 3 at least to 6 wins or 7 wins. But Commanders are that next team. And it's the same with the Lions, who the Titans play next. And I also have them lose to end their 6-game losing streak. They're the next tier. They're the fringe playoff team. I think the Titans are not ready to make the playoffs, and I would be so happy to be wrong. But that next fringe is like the Cowboys, the Commanders, and the Lions. And that's why I think it's so unfortunate that they got all of these guys like right a cluster. And if they can flip any of those 3 games, those NFC games, the Cowboys, the Commanders, the Lions, then I think the Titans are cooking. As long as they can win, some of the games I already have them winning. Then the Titans are cooking. Because those are the teams who I think are going to be, after Thanksgiving, you always see the in the hunt graphic. That's where I think all these teams are going to live. I don't think the Titans are necessarily there yet. You're going to see even the Bengals. The Bengals are going to be in the hunt. The Jags, I think, are going to win our division. The Cowboys in the hunt. Commanders in the hunt. Lions in the hunt. Those are all in the hunt teams that are playing for something by week 17 and 18. And I don't think the Titans are there yet. I don't think the Titans are quite there yet. And so that's why I have them losing all of those games. I think they have 2 Jaguar games mixed in there. But the Bengals, Cowboys, Commanders, and Lions, I think they're all the same caliber team. And 3 out of the 4 of those teams are on the road. At the Bengals, at the Cowboys, at the Lions. Man, if the Titans can flip one of them, great. I'm just trying to be realistic, man. I want to be the homer. I want to say like the Titans are going to win every game, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I just can't see them getting through that brutal stretch mixed in with the AFC champion of last year, and then you throw in a Commanders home game. And I think once you've lost the Bengals going into the bye week, the Jaguars, the Cowboys, the Jaguars, now you're coming back home against a team that probably is going to be making a push for the playoffs. I just don't see it yet from the Titans. And again, I would love to be wrong, more than love to be wrong. So after week 14, the bleeding stops. You can take a deep breath, the bleeding stops. And I know some people are going to be mad about this because if this comes true, if we start losing all these games, all people are going to be talking about is, well, let's just lose out and get the best draft pick. Let's just get the highest draft pick. Let's go get Jeremiah Smith. Let's go get Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State, the wide receiver. Let's get the first or second overall pick. Because at this point, we're sitting at 4-9. So I'm sure people will be like, oh, I'm done with this season. This is terrible. But we need to win games. Like, we need Saleh to win games. We need Cam Ward needs to win games, and we really need Mike Berganzi, our GM, to win games. So in week 15, I think the Titans are finally like, all right, enough is enough. I don't think the Colts are going to be all that great this year. We're at home. We already lost to them once. We're going to get some respect back, and we're going to go back home, and we're going to beat the Indianapolis Colts. I think they win in week 15 to stop the bleeding, to get to 5-9. Again, we still have 2 more wins than we did last year, and there's still 3 games to go. And I don't think the winning stops there. In week 16, we play the Las Vegas Raiders. I am chalking that up as a win. I know we lost to the Raiders last year. Mendoza's not going to play right away, and who knows exactly when he's going to take the reins from Kirk Cousins. But I do think the Raiders plan to play Kirk Cousins for a decent amount of time. So we could be looking at, and I think the Raiders have a later bye as well. So we could be looking at a Mendoza not making his second or third ever start in the NFL by this point. The Titans, who again I think are much improved from last year, finally stopped the bleeding with the loss. They go across, I don't like that they go across the country and then play at a different time than they've been playing all year. But again, the Raiders, even though they beat the Titans, the Raiders still had the first overall pick last year. So it's not like I'm going out on a limb here acting like the Titans can beat the Raiders. And so I think for Mendoza probably making probably no more than at most his 4th or 5th start ever in the league, playing against Jeffrey Simmons, John Franklin Myers, this defense there. I think they can rattle him a little bit. And I think the Titans got embarrassed last year. That's honestly, losing to the Raiders is what got Brian Callahan fired. We got, after we lost to the Raiders, Amy Adams Strunk was like, no more. So I think they're going to take this trip out to Las Vegas a little bit more serious. And I think they can come out with a win. And then to round out the very last game in this version of the Nissan Stadium, the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a complete wild card. I originally had the Titans losing this game, but it's their last home game ever in this stadium. There's going to be a lot of emotions before they, move over to the next stadium. 2-game win streak. And I have absolutely no idea currently who even the quarterback is of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, give me the Titans in that. Give me the Titans in that last home game of the year. Give us that. And then week 18, we're going to round out with the Texans. No way in the world are the Titans ready to sweep the Texans. So that's a loss, especially because I think the Texans are going to be another in the hunt team. And we're going to be playing them in their house in week 18. No way. Just no way for me is that a win for the Titans. And so that's how I came out to a 7-10 record for the Titans. Again, let me know down below what you guys think. Am I crazy? Are the Titans winning too many games? Are they losing too many games? Is the 6-game losing streak a bit too much for you guys? Please let me know, because I would love to talk about it in my next video next week. Let me know. But I think that this is as realistic as it can get. Now, really quickly before I move on to the Mike Vrabel thing, where I can see the Titans squeezing in to the playoffs, or at least into the playoff hunt, getting like a 9th or 10th win to potentially be in that conversation, where they can flip this. For one, week 6, off rip, is Daniel Jones ready? We don't know. He tore his Achilles toward the end of the season, maybe he's not ready. And so maybe the Colts are out here playing with Anthony Richardson or Riley Leonard or whoever. And maybe the Colts are bad. I mean, we saw the Colts obviously were a lot better at the beginning of the year than many of us thought. I think even Colts fans would agree with that. And then the moment that things kind of went bad, it went really bad for them. Even before Daniel Jones tore his Achilles, they should have lost when they went overseas. Then they lost to the Chiefs in overtime after having a lead. Then they lose. Then I believe that's when Daniel Jones got hurt the very next game. They did all these trades, and Sauce Gardner gets hurt, and I still think that the Colts were a little bit fraudulent, and call it copium, whatever. I think the Colts were fraudulent last year, even with their impressive record. I just think Jonathan Taylor had a career year, and a lot of people went in not expecting Daniel Jones to be as good as he was. And I think we have a lot of film on them now. He's coming off an injury as well. I don't think the Colts are all that great. So, in fact, with the Titans being 7-10, I honestly think that they finish ahead of the Colts in the division. So I think it's going to go Jaguars, Texans, Titans, Colts for this up year AFC South. So the Colts is 1 win. The Titans could flip and they sweep the Colts to get to 8 wins. Like I said before, they flip even one of the Bengals, Cowboys, Commanders, Lions. Those are all in the hunt teams, in my opinion. 3 of them are on the road. Can they take this defense on the road, and can they force turnovers? It's the only way you're going to beat any of these teams. All 4 of them have had high power offenses in the last 2 years. The Bengals always have one as long as Joe Burrow's there. Even when he's not there, Joe Flacco's out there slinging it. The Cowboys have a high-profile offense to score a ton of points. The Commanders, 2 years ago with Jay Daniels, can put up points like none other if they want to. And then you have the Lions, who can put up 50. If they can win even one of those games, there's your 9th win. There's your 9 wins. You flip the Colts game, especially the early one. You win one of those 4, or to get to 9 or 10, and to get to 10, or to stay at 9, you beat the Jaguars out of the bye. Because here's the thing, the Titans, I have to go back and fact check this, and I'll have this for you guys next week. The Titans have the rest advantage, I think, 4 or 5 times this season. And what I mean by that is they're playing a team who either plays on Sunday night or they play on Monday Night Football, while the Titans play on Sunday. So they get an extra day of rest, or a few hours of rest. And I know for a fact that they play the Giants are playing on the road in week 2 before they play the Titans week 3. So they're playing on the road, and I believe it's Monday Night Football too. So they're on the road and they're traveling back home. I believe it's one of the Jazz games as well. I can't remember if it's the one at home or the one away. But the Jaguars also, we have a more extended rest going into our game before we play the Jags. So we have some rest advantage, and I think there's two others as well. We have some rest advantages that I think can be in our favor, and that's how you start to steer this ship away from the 3-14 seasons. We have to. I think we've raised our floor, and it's now about, can Robert Saleh and this coaching staff take us to that next level? I think I really don't see how the Titans can be this bad without a catastrophic injury. But to flip side it, so I've showed you guys how we can win 9 to 10 games. Again, beat the Colts twice, flip one of the Bengals, Cowboys, Commanders, Lions, and or don't get swept by the Jags. And I think there's your 9 or 10 wins. More than that, it's a pipe dream. More than that, then we're having a Patriots dream season, and we're gonna ride it out. On the flip side, the bottom. So I think 9 wins really is the cap for the Titans. 10, I guess 10 technically. 10 is your cap. The absolute floor, I think, is 4 wins. No way do I see this team losing more than, or not winning at least 4 games. Between the Jets, the Browns, the Raiders, and the Giants, all the teams that were just drafting in the top five or six. No way. No way. With all those teams on our schedule, Jets, Giants, Browns, and Raiders, I have a hard time believing the Titans can win at least just out of those. Jets, Giants, Browns, and Raiders. At least 2. I haven't winning all of them, but there's at least 2 wins. And then you still have 2 Colts games, a Steelers team. We don't even know who their quarterback is. You never know what injury is going to happen. Again, like I said, the Texans have been begging the Titans to take over. I don't see how we don't win at least 4. One of the Texans games, one of the Colts games, Jets, Giants, Browns, and Raiders, win at least 2 of those. There's your 4 wins. I don't see how they get under that without catastrophic injuries. But that'll do it for this section. Again, I know that was a little bit longer of a breakdown, but I just really want you guys to see like why I came to this 7-10 record and how the Titans can truly start to build this up. I really think they can. Next year, we're going to be in a much better spot. So to wrap it off, I'm going to go on a small rant, and I'll try to keep this as quick as possible because my goal is to always end each and every video under an hour. Mike Vrabel, man. You out here wild. You out here wild in these streets. You are absolutely out here wild. And look, I am not going to sit here and, plaster, they do have families and all that. Again, shame to the 2 people involved. And again, it's, one thing, again, the NFL life is all about relationships. You're going to have relationships with the opposite sex. It happens. You're going to work with people of the opposite sex. Sometimes you're going to be friends. I don't think that there's an issue with that. But this is just downright dirty. Downright dirty. And the fact that it wasn't like again, not that it's this would excuse it all. It was a one-time thing. Like, you got caught up in the moment. And if there's significant others want to leave him over that one moment, cool. But 6 years, bro. 6 years. Before she was even pregnant with her first kid, like a few months after she had gotten married, or like a year after she had gotten married, this is what we're doing. And the reason why I'm honestly glad now I waited. It wasn't like I was trying to do Mike Vrabel a favor by not speaking on this. It's just around this time when this was all coming out, I was more focused on the draft than who Mike Vrabel is messing around with in the sheets. But dude, the reason why I'm annoyed is because he was our coach during this time, and the entire time the Titans have been painted as this idiotic team. And again, I'm not sitting here saying that the Titans are now right for firing Mike Vrabel. Of course, I was indifferent. I wasn't in favor of or against it. I wasn't crying about it though, because I saw through the BS. Everyone liked Mike Vrabel and they liked Derrick Henry, but they were also the reason why we were losing. And I say that not like blaming Derrick Henry, but not the player itself, but the fact that we weren't prioritizing a passing offense. We weren't going out to go get a quarterback. We kept relying on the run game, which made it so one-dimensional because Derrick Henry's so great. And because Mike Vrabel's so stuck in his ways, everyone was like, why would you let Henry go? Even though everyone thinks that we traded Derrick Henry. We did not trade Derrick Henry. He walked on his own. Mike Vrabel was terrible. He was 6-18 in his last 24 games as the Tennessee Titans head coach. That is terrible, and that is grounds for anyone being fired. Even the better head coaches. You cannot tell me if Andy Reid wins 6 of his next 24 games that the Chiefs will not be like, hey, we appreciate all that you've been done, but hey, it's probably time to start looking elsewhere. I'm not saying they would fire him, but I'm saying you can't tell me that in the Chiefs organization, they would not be like, hey, you tell me over these next 24 games, if Kyle Shanahan won 6 games, you went 6-18, man. So I'm not sitting here trying to act like they shouldn't have fired him, but especially if Amy Adams Strunk knew what was going on behind the scenes, and this is what you're doing, you over here messing around with Diana Rossini while we're getting bounced out of the playoffs. Like, it just puts so much more things in perspective now. It's like the narrative around the NFL is like, man, the Titans did Mike Vrabel dirty. We did him dirty by firing him. And meanwhile, this is what this dude's doing behind the scenes. And I truly wonder if our owner knew what was going on. And if she did, hey, kudos to her for standing on business and saying, I don't want that in my organization. Kudos to her. Because that's ridiculous, man. You over here renting boats and driving boats while she's pregnant, while she's 7-8 months pregnant. You're on a boat talking about Julio Jones. And yes, also, Julio Jones is my favorite all-time receiver. I was so happy when the Titans got Julio Jones. But I don't want it that way. No, that way. And I feel like we got bad karma because of it. Again, the Titans have bad ways. So again, I'm not saying that we were better off for Brian Vrabel, because the Titans made a terrible decision in hiring Brian Callahan after Mike Vrabel. And really that really was the problem. I still will go to my grave believing that it wasn't the end of the world that the Titans fired Mike Vrabel. It's who they hired after. And honestly, that's in life. Usually some people make like risky decisions, and it's not like that decision. It's what they made after they made the risky decision that ultimately is why they fail or whatever. It's what you did after. Yeah, you may have done a thing that's like, oh man, I probably wouldn't have done that. But what do you do after that? Because a lot of things can be forgiven. But the Titans just hired the wrong coach. They should have hired Mike McDonald, the coach of the Seattle Seahawks, because he came in for an interview. We had Brian Callahan instead of him. Stupid. But Mike Vrabel, man, this is just so disgusting. He's not going to lose his job. And honestly, if he was our coach, thank God he's not our coach now when this broke. Because it's just more embarrassment. Nobody cares. And honestly, shame on all these sports networks, Fox Sports, ESPN, all these places, Barstool, all these places who basically like refuse, or NBC, they've refused to want to talk about it. You got Chris Sims getting fired over it because he wants to talk about Mike Vrabel. Like, this is a football story. I don't understand why, just because Mike Vrabel's buddy and a lot of people are, Diana Rossini worked at ESPN, so a lot of people are friends with her, that she gets to just avoid scrutiny. Now that's BS. I'm sorry, that's absolute BS. And so more people should be talking about this. Again, I didn't talk about it mainly because I was more focused on the draft. I'm still trying to build my program here. I ain't got time to worry about that. But thank God he wasn't our coach. But because he's the Patriots coach and Robert Kraft is clearly not going to do anything about it, he's not going to get fired. Of course, yeah, he didn't have anything to do with football. But we don't know that. It sounds like Mike Vrabel knew about A.J. Brown getting traded to the Eagles from Diana Rossini. We got Julio Jones essentially because of Diana Rossini. So like Titans can like be thanking her maybe for at least that little bit of an advantage. But yeah, man, that's a dangerous dude. That's a dangerous dude to be roaming around the NFL. If networks who make fun of everything, they have no problem making fun of the CEO of the Coldplay concert with his infidelity. They have no problem making fun of that. But when it comes to Mike Vrabel, oh wow, we want to keep our mouth shut. Diana's a friend. Mike Vrabel's a cool guy. He's cool with Tom Brady. Man, that's some BS, man. F all that. I'm sorry. Like, excuse me, but like, that's garbage. That's garbage that we're picking and choosing who we want to be okay with. Like, we want to respect their families. He didn't. We want to have more respect for Mike Vrabel's family than Mike Vrabel. We want to have more respect for Diana Rossini's husband than Diana Rossini. She finds any way to go crap on her husband. And now we want to have respect her wishes. Man, get out of here with that. So again, I could go on more. Like I said, I want to keep this video under an hour, but I think that's absolute garbage by these networks. And so again, just thank God he's not our coach. Nothing's going to happen to him. Do not expect him to step down because his boss, like if your boss doesn't see any problem with it, why would you step down? So Mike Vrabel is going to be the head coach of the Patriots. He's going to ride off and go into the sunset. Again, I think the Patriots are going to be good again this year. As long as Josh McDaniels is there and Mike Vrabel doesn't have to call offensive plays, the Patriots are going to be fine. And of course, they have Drake May. So the Patriots are going to be fine, but that's just absolutely garbage. And thank God he's not our coach during this scandal. and we'll see how it works out with Robert Saleh. But yeah, I think that we just got some bad juju when it came to Mike Vrabel, and just shame on him in the NFL. And of course, with these NFL schedule releases, no one wants to talk about it. Just whatever, man, whatever. So Mike Vrabel's gonna get off from an NFL standpoint, but you in the comments keep letting them know that we hear, and we know what he did, and he ain't gonna get off easy. So with that being said, that'll do it for me today, guys. Again, let me know your guys' predictions for the Titans record. Let me know what games you think they can win, what games you think they'll lose. And you know, again, let me know. Again, I want to continue to talk about things that you guys want to talk about. I am here for you guys. So I'm just going to keep on with my own prompts until I kind of get more of a following, and you guys tell me what you guys like to discuss. I'll even go live if that's more of a conducive thing for you guys, so we can have a better conversation. But please let me know. Comment. Again, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this show. You can follow me on Twitter at Titans Traffic, Instagram, TikTok at Titans Traffic Update. Until next time, tighten up, baby.